Okay, we're back. Yeah, I've stopped using Restream then because it seemed to be having issues of just like closing the stream, which is really annoying. I don't know why it's done that, whether that's a whether that's a issue with using it free or what. Interestingly, it does do like some like turning viral scripts and stuff. Gives a virality score and all this kind of stuff, which is kind of cool. I think I'm trying to make a little product like this as well, actually, to create some viral scripts and stuff, which would be interesting. So we can give that a go as well. But yeah, hopefully we can get back to the stream. Hopefully it won't fail this time. Sorry about that, guys. As I say, I'm still new to all of this and learning how it all works. It looks like Restream had some issues, but it seemed to be good overall, other than the connection issues. But maybe that's because I'm on the free version. So what I'll do is I'll buy a what do you call it? I'll buy a subscription and see how it is next time. Okay, let's just keep going. So bets failed. Unknown error. Cool. Much better. Right. Can we make the UI enum a pill and make it nice appearance-wise? Let's also add, when we go to failed, the ability to filter via failure reason, please. Okay, so we'll get that to do that. We'll then run simplify on it. Hopefully the stream's okay now. Maybe it was my internet or something, who knows? It's difficult to say. As I say, we'll try and improve going forward. So so yeah, back to just using Restream, just using Streamlabs now for the moment. Hopefully we're back. Okay. What am I doing? I am getting it to do some changes. So should make this nice little pill as well, similar to failed, I guess, like failure reason. And then we can add in a filter there as well. It should really be like a separate column, actually, and then the filter. Oh, it's compacting, which is always annoying. Okay, so in my to-do list, yeah, that's the main thing that we need to do. We can get that one later. That's not super important. That one's more important, like determining that we run, well, we should be fetching fixtures like once a day. We should fetch the stats, as and when we need to. And then based on the timing of the fixtures, we should kick off like half an hour beforehand to make the predictions, and then fetch the latest statistics and lineups, etc. As I think it said, the lineups come up like half an hour before, so I think from then we can start to make the predictions. So yeah, welcome back to the stream, guys. Sorry it's been a bit flaky today. As I say, I was using Restream and it seems to have cut me off a couple of times. I don't know if that's my fault or Restream's fault, but we'll see. So yeah, but interestingly, like Restream did come up with some like quote unquote viral clips, crowd versus AI bets, building a Discord thing. So that's kind of interesting that we've kind of got these little clips. How we detect insider trading on Polymarket, interesting. Even got like a virality score. So that's interesting. Maybe we can. What happens if we go ahead and click publish? I guess you have to sign up for that. No, I'm not going to sign up. $30 a month for 100 clips. So this is the kind of tool that I want to make for myself, actually. So what we'll do is we'll publish both of these. We'll keep the branding on, obviously, because we have to. Should we build it? Publish it, see what happens. Never made a TikTok short or YouTube short at all. As I say, one of the products I want to build is around content creation. So this one I don't think makes any sense. Looking at the script, like we're going to also get rid of predictions because that's going to be a separate competitor. So yeah, we also do have a dashboard for this. It's not deployed anywhere. When we start making real bets and stuff like that, one makes no sense. This one kind of makes a little bit of sense. I mean, it's an interesting little tool, but it doesn't seem very good from the two that we've seen there. But anyway, we'll see what it works, how that one works, and whether we get any views on it or not. But yeah, it's interesting. Like I definitely want to build something like this that can take my streams and work out clips and stuff that would be good. It's cool that it's turned it into side by side and that kind of thing. The problem with all this is it just doesn't have like taste and understand what's good and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know how you can edit what you get in that. So it's just running through some changes while we have a look at this. So, oh wow, I mean, they've even got like a full-on editor and stuff. That's kind of cool. So I mean, that is pretty impressive. Lots of stuff going on there. Different captions and stuff. So yeah, that is interesting. But we could definitely build something like this if we wanted to. Whether it's a thing that we want to go down. It's cool that it's caught these kind of things as well. Super interesting. Okay, so that has run, made the change, unknown error. I guess we'll get rid of the ×3 because we don't care about that. I'm going to make it be a new column. Can we just have the enumpil as a new column? And we can also get rid of the other text as well. Like it just should have the enum itself, not like the ×3 and stuff. Okay, so we can get that removed. But yeah, this is super interesting actually. This is a tool. We're also going to get rid of the predictions because yeah, that's just going to be it. So it's like given a title, it's got some captions. Yeah, kind of impressed actually. I don't know what this is all. Right. Oh, that's the text, and it's adding in like okay. So that's the text, and then that's the UI, and it's sorry the video, and it's got some splits and stuff there. It's interesting that the split thing changes size at times as well. So obviously, it's doing some kind of visual thing to work out what's on screen. Interesting. Yeah, it'd be very interesting to try and build something like this ourselves, actually. Not necessarily the full-on editing stuff, but can we build a tool that will take the live streams, clip it up into stuff that is potentially good content or not? Certainly a tool that I'm interested in building. Well, it's not unknown error, is it? Aren't they all failed? No money. Where are we? Bets. Oh, maybe it defaults to unknown. That's probably. Okay, interesting. Let me delete all the bets. Delete from bets. Delete from predictions. We'll run it again, and hopefully we get proper error messages that time. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see whether it posts that short and then how that actually works and what it looks like. And like whether we get, okay, so the short is posted now, so we'll see what it looks like in terms of the content and how the shorts perform and stuff. It's interesting. Interesting to see. Okay, so now the bets should have failed. Don't know why we're getting unknown error, even though it should be not enough balance. Let's get that fixed as well. When we get this error message, we're getting unknown error, but it should be like not enough funds or whatever the enum was. Should be able to fix that as well, hopefully. Then we'll get simplified to tidy it up. And then we'll look at the next thing, which is the logic for how it's batching the bets and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, so if you go and have a watch of that short and let me know what you think of it. I'll watch it after the stream, I guess. I'm not sure I want to watch myself on stream. It's made me realise I've eaten way too much ramen and I've got double chin again. Need to go and hit the gym again. Okay. What do I want? I think I want control room here. All 14 tests pass now. Apparently it's fixed. Insufficient funds, good. Well, I'm not sure. Has it made the bets twice or something? No, I don't think so. It's like each fixture should have 3, right? Or 4, sorry. No, 5. I forgot how many models there are. Yeah, okay, so that's fine. Cool. So yeah, that works now as I wanted it to, which is good. Awesome. I think. Still got ones that have unknown error, but that's fine. They're probably the old data. That's fine. Okay. Let's get this to do the simplify. Maybe we'll do simplify and then we'll do review and then we'll see what we get from that as well. Cool. Yeah, then we need to work out the logic for how we actually, well, not the logic, but the flow and how we're actually doing the fetching of data, fetching of fixtures and stuff. Because I think currently it's just in like this horrible like loop. Whereas we need to be careful with like fetching the statistics, fetching the market and the fixture, then fetching the stats, doing the prediction, and then making the bet in a very kind of smaller window as we can possibly have it, really. Because obviously the odds will start to change and stuff, and if they change under our feet, then it's not great. But yeah, do feel free to get involved in the chat as always. Say hello, ask any questions and stuff. Always happy to interact. I thought I turned the heating on, but it doesn't seem to have come on. It was just unaware that I'd pressed the button, apparently. Okay, so we are back on stream, which is good. Hopefully it's not going to cut out this time. So yeah, just currently getting the agent to simplify it. We were just looking at Restream. It's kind of got this viral shorts editor, which is kind of cool. And we've gone ahead and got it to post a short for us. So we'll also see how that performs and what it looks like. As I say, I kind of would like to build a tool that's similar to this, not necessarily the editing side of things, but a tool that will kind of take the transcript of the video and suggest some potential short content or longer form content, and maybe even like come up with a similar virality score or whatever. Although this is not a very good thing, because like here it's got, you know, the title is crowd versus AI bets building the thing, which you'd think would be sensible, but then it's kind of got like, oh yeah, we're going to get rid of predictions. You know, it's not currently deployed anywhere. Like, so I don't think it really aligns that well in terms of a script, really. But interesting nonetheless. And ideas for features and stuff, of course. Okay, so it's found some stuff that seems to be pretty bad, which is good and bad, I guess. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, yeah. So yeah, the simplify Claude skill actually seems to be performing reasonably well. Definitely made some improvements in the code that I can see just from looking at it, really, even without going into depth. Although I think it might be doing stuff a bit too complicated, perhaps. Like this line here is just a bit crazy, really. It doesn't need to do stuff like that, I don't think. But yeah, like it's favoring like brevity of code versus perhaps readability there. So but yeah, the dashboard, oh, error colors is not defined. It's kind of broken then. Well, this will be interesting to see whether the tests pass or whether they fail, because it's currently broken. Okay, it's fixed now. Okay, so yeah, looking good so far. And we can filter via these as well, so hopefully that works. Okay, cool, yeah. Certainly making a bit of progress, right? These are all like visual and fine-tuning things, not actually core functionality, so maybe I should focus on that. Okay, so let me just go ahead and get the code review done. Do you know what? I'm just going to skip the code review for this one. Please go ahead and commit all the changes for this feature. Cool. And then we'll start to look at the logic for the code predictions, basically. Well, not predictions, the flow for making the prediction, basically, and the bet. So yeah, I need you to explain it in a nicer way to Claude than I've currently done, but we'll work that out in a second. Awesome. Hi Ganesh, welcome to the stream. Good to have you here. Please do subscribe to the channel, and you can also join the Discord as well if you're not already. I'll give you a link to that. There'll be lots of cool things coming onto Discord in the future. So yeah, I wonder how TikTok Shorts perform really. Never made a TikTok Short. It's got a view now, so thank you, viewer. Or what the reach and engagement is. Be interesting to see how that performs. It's obviously not a very good short because it's just a clip of the stream, but we'll see. Okay, awesome. So it's done that now. We should be at the point where nothing left. Okay, let me go push that. Okay, let me clear the context. And what I need it to do is essentially do a plan for the changes that we need here. Not necessarily changes that we need, but the understanding of what the flow actually is and the issues we're going to have with it, because I know there could be a few currently. So I'll get it to have a look at that basically. Right. In the prediction pipeline, it looks like we're currently making bulk predictions and then bets. This is not going to work. So I think what we need to do is do it one by one. So we can fetch all the stats and stuff for the fixtures. That's fine. But we then need to get the odds, make the prediction, and make the bet in a shorter space of time as possible. So we should do that one by one, like one per fixture, rather than doing it bulk. Otherwise, we're going to have drift between the odds in the bets, and then by the time that we make the bet, the odds will have drifted if we're doing it in bulk. Can we first diagram how it's all working and then come up with a plan as to how to fix this? Yeah. So again, it's one of the things, like if I was building it myself, I would obviously have a lot more context of that, and would never have built it the way that it currently is. But is what it is. It's all vibe coding. It's all kind of experience and seeing what we can do and how it works. So I'm a full stack developer and mobile dev. Would love to work together. I have an idea of an ed tech tool. Awesome, yeah. Drop the idea in the chat and we can talk about it. Maybe we can do it on stream. So everything I'm building is on stream and in public. So definitely open to ideas and suggestions. Hey, sure, I cannot pronounce your name, but hello, welcome to the channel with your clippy icon. Good to have you here. Do join the Discord as well. I'll pin that chat, pin that message, why not? Join the Discord, as it's going to have various cool things in the future. So we're currently building the LLM prediction competition engine, I guess you'd call it. Basically what this is going to be is we're going to get the LLMs to make predictions on sporting events and maybe other events in the future based on some statistics. And we're going to pit them against each other and see which one can come up with the best results and make the most money, hopefully. Or probably more realistically, which one can lose the least amount of money. Cool. Hello, Shub. Welcome. Good to have you here. And yeah, we've got this dashboard here. This is just locally deployed at the moment. We will be deploying it in the future. Oh, it's broken the links, which is annoying. We need to get it to fix that. Yeah, it's broken the links to the games, to the markets. Annoying. You've broken the links to the polymarket URLs on the bets, etc. It's no longer working. And we obviously need a test for that as well, please. Classic vibe coding. Yeah, as I say, if any of you guys have got ideas for products and all that kind of stuff, tools, let me know. And if it's interesting, we can always build it on stream. And as I say, if we come up with an idea and I build the product and we make money, I'm more than happy to share the money with you if you've come up with the idea. So yeah, this is the first ever short we've posted. Again, it's just come from Restream and their little AI thing. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Don't know much about building shorts. One of the tools I want to build is a tool to help me come up with ideas and content. So we will be building that on stream. We've done it a little bit on stream already, but just focusing on one product for the moment, try and making the streams a bit more simple to follow. So if that sounds interesting to you, do subscribe and you will get notified when we're building. Okay, let me check what happened. Still the objects, but type constraint. I mean, it should have been fairly straightforward to fix that. I mean, oh, unless there's just, yeah, okay, so it broke it basically. Classic AI. Let me just tidy up some stuff in the database so we can run that again and see what we get. Predictions, oh, go away. Might as well just delete predictions. Sure, I mean, if you want to DM me on Discord, we can talk about your idea. But as I say, I'm building everything in public at the moment, so okay, plan is ready for review. Okay, let's have a look. Prediction pipeline currently interleaves stats fetching between odds, refresh, and bet placement for each fixture. Refreshes odds for all markets, then fetches standings, blah, 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 blah. And then runs engines and places bets. By the time bets placed, the automated drifted. Yeah. Into 2 phases. Yeah, I don't think that's quite correct, but... yeah, I mean, I guess it's okay to do that, I guess. The build statistics engine. No, I mean, that needs to be the thing it does just before the prediction, basically. Oh, yeah, sorry, that's the current. Okay, that's the current flow. Yeah, I was looking at it, going, "This is terrible. Why is it suggesting this?" Okay, so proposed flow. Read fixtures from the database. Yes. Get the markets for the fixtures. Yes. For each fixture, parallelize where possible. Fetching of all that. Yeah, that's fine. That should be able to do currently. Store all gathered stats. Yeah, that's fine. Tight odds prediction loop. Refresh odds for all markets. Build statistics from pre-fetch stats. Yeah, okay. Run all engines. Yeah, okay, that's better. The only delay between odds fetch and bet placement is the engine execution time, sub-second for the weight tuned engine, and the prediction save validation locally, but no external calls. Yeah, that's fine. No engine changes required. Stable, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, we don't care about memory usage. It's all JavaScript, so that's the last of our worries. If phase 1 takes a very long time, injury data could become stale. I mean, that's unlikely, yeah. Yeah, stats errors discovered in phase 1 mean we skip fixtures earlier. Benefit, okay. Okay, I think I'm fairly happy with that, to be honest. Let's just see what this is doing. What changes is it actually making to... It's annoying that Simplify broke that. A bit frustrating. Are you using agentic AI or directly going to make a model out of code? So the way we're doing this is kind of the dumb way, I guess. Like, we're not building our own AI model. Well, not yet, anyway. Maybe we will in the future. But what we're doing is we're basically going to get the statistics that we have access to. We are then going to pass those to the LLM and say, come up with some weightings based on those statistics. So basically, it will come up with a number that it thinks represents the weight of that stat. So whether the home team wins, for example, it will come up with a number between 1 and 0. And then based on those weightings, we pass it into our prediction engine, which is just kind of a dumb engine that takes all these numbers and then works out the prediction based on the weights. We will then make the bet. Once the bet has resolved, we then take the results and the weights and pass it back into the LLM and say, update your weights and fine tune. And basically, we'll kind of keep going in that loop for the moment. So it's kind of just passing the data into the LLM and saying, hey, look, based on these statistics, can you come up with some weights? And what do you think is important to know for how you decide how to win a football match in the terms of the betting? So that's the plan for it. Maybe in the future we try and build our own ML model to do the weighting and all that kind of stuff, but that's not really the purpose of this. Yeah. So here is my idea. Why not agentic AI? There will be multiple agents who can work on different features individually and make you results with different LLMs. Why not agentic AI? Multiple agents who can work on different features. Oh, are you talking about like building the actual code, or what are you talking about? Because in terms of the way we're building the project, we're just using Claude at the moment. I've not gone down the route of having multiple Claude agents and stuff building the product. I don't currently see the need to do that. But yeah, let me know your workflow. I mean, I know a lot of people are doing like Claude bot with multiple agents working on projects and stuff. We can give it a go at some point. It's not currently what we're doing though. But as I say, I'm still new to all the vibe coding stuff, so part of it is just kind of exploring with what we can do. Yeah, go ahead and commit those fixes, please. Yeah, part of it is kind of exploring what we can do, how the vibe coding workflows work, how people work with vibe coding, basically. Yeah, I do know what agentic AI is. I'm just, as I say, like currently exploring the various workflows. Like we did try with open code, and again, just a single agent that spawns sub agents and stuff. But my experience with sub agents and that kind of stuff is that it just goes off on crazy tangents and ends up not doing anything particularly useful. And like as we've seen, like a lot of the stuff that is in theory quite simple the models don't quite get you all the way there. And if you don't have that kind of verification step, like I'm sure I guess you can technically do with the AI as well, like get it to boot up the browser and stuff. I know you can do that nowadays. But yeah, as I said, it's not something we've currently explored yet. But yeah, if you've got any good articles or anything about, running an agentic AI with various sessions on the same code base and stuff, let me know. I'm happy to take a look at it and potentially try it on stream. So yeah, so Claude's now going to go ahead and implement the plan for fixing the loop basically, and then once we've done that, okay, another thing we need to think about is the like the timings of this. So like basically we need to have it's not necessarily a cron job, but like a way to schedule tasks. So like obviously when the fixture is, I think the API said like half an hour before the fixture, it will have access to the lineups and that kind of stuff, and then we need to fetch that data and then make the predictions. So we need some way to know when to kick that off. Basically, I think currently it's just basically like a loop that runs constantly, basically, like in a delay. I don't actually know. I haven't looked at the code really. So we've got the scheduler here. Yeah, so the scheduler just starts. I mean, I don't know what that scheduler is written. How does it work? So just scheduler.start. I'm assuming it's just set timeout. Yeah, okay, so it's just set timeout and set interval. Okay, yeah. I mean, that's fine. So yeah, basically we need to have some way to saying like, hey, look at the fixture timings every like hour or so, or half hour or something. And then when they're in that window, make the prediction. Yeah, so I guess actually what you probably mean there is like building a single project and comparing the multiple LLMs results. Is that what you're trying to say there? Because that would be an interesting idea of like how do the different LLMs build from the same prompts and stuff. Might be an interesting approach. But one thing I'm keen not to do on this stream, as I know there's lots of people that are like doing a similar thing to me. Hold on, let me just turn this off. But yeah, one thing I'm keen not to do is just end up building tools for vibe coding. So I have like a lot of people have kind of come across my stream, almost on my YouTube, because obviously I've started doing this stuff. People that are doing similar things that have been doing it before me and stuff, but they all seem to go down the route of building tooling for vibe coding, which is kind of a bit meta, and it kind of feels like it's a bit circular, really. Whereas I'm kind of want to build more things that are built with the tools rather than tools for the thing, even though we have built one. But yeah. Come to know about Anthropic and US government issue. What's your view on it? Are you talking about the fact that, like, what was it, the Department of Defense like asked Anthropic to make I mean, I don't know what the specifics are. It's like using it for military use, I guess, is the idea from my understanding. To be honest, I've not looked at it that much. I think OpenAI are now doing it. To be honest, to me, like the most interesting thing is that they're using it at all for that kind of stuff. Like my experience of it, of using AI and stuff, is that it's not like that great, and I wouldn't necessarily trust it to give me the correct data and the correct results. So obviously, without knowing what they actually want to do with it and what they're actually using it for, it's difficult to say. But I know, from my understanding, it's like it's part of Palantir's like product suite. Yeah, so it's difficult to know without having all the details. But yeah, I mean, ideally they wouldn't give access to militaries to use these things, but in reality, that's always going to be the case, isn't it? So who knows? try and not get too political. Okay, so apparently it's done. So it's made the changes. So what we can do is, if I clean up the database, get rid of the bets, get rid of those, get rid of the predictions. Oh, I've got the server running already, actually. So, okay. So basically, what we should see now is, like, in the logs, we should see it making the calls to get the data, and then individually doing the odds, the prediction, and then the bet. The bets obviously should still fail because we don't have any money in the wallets and stuff. But let's see what it's doing. So yeah, I'm sure there's probably like a scheduler library we can use rather than it writing its own crappy one, but that's what it's done. So yeah, fetch the upcoming schedule. Yeah, I mean, probably can actually just change that to be like within half an hour, and that's probably an easy way of doing it. Okay, so let's have a look at the logs then. So it started to make the things. So this is system starting run, prediction, home team stats fetch failed. Okay, failing for some reason. Undefined is not an object. Okay, that's something we need to fix. Let's just copy and paste that, and looks like you've created a bug. Please go and fix this. So that's failed. Okay, but then it does make the bet. So it still looks like it's doing the same thing there, right? Making the bets one by one. Because it should do odds refreshed, make the bet, not refresh odds, make bet, make bet. Claude, what are you doing? Let's have a look then. So, unless it's running this like multiple times or something. So, get us the fixture stats. This is the tight loop. Okay, so that's the prefetch data. So, it processes the fixture. Okay, so this is the tight loop, process fixture. Refresh odds from gamma and update DB, right? So it gets the market. From polymarket, it gets the market ID. Polymarket URL. Okay. Gets the stats. Is it not passing the odds in the stats though? So that obviously gets all the odds, right? If fresh market, polymarket URL is that. Market ID, old prices, new prices. Upset at the fresh market. So what does it do with that then? Market map. Build market context. Market ID question, current price, odds, blah, 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 liquidity volume. Okay. And there's market. Oh, okay, so that part. Okay, so it doesn't get passed in. Right. God, the code is not nice at all. Okay. Investigate the error. The functions are identical to the originals. This error undefined is not an object. Happening in statistics. Set response without fixtures properly. Two-phase approach may be hitting this more because the stats are now fetched in a tighter burst. All fixtures stats back to back, possibly trigger API for rate limiting. So if we never have stats for a particular fixture or something, we cannot make the bet. So we need to have all the statistics, otherwise we should skip the bet and have a failure. Hey, Seek Avoid, welcome to the channel. So what we are building is a application to pit LLMs against each other, making predictions on sporting events. So it's currently broken at the moment, but the idea is that we can get the LLMs to create its own weighting for football events, and then we can pass those in, make a prediction, and then make a bet on Polymarket based on what the LLM thinks is going to happen. And then basically we can see which LLM is able to predict the market, make predictions correctly, which one wins the most money, which one loses the least amount of money. We will see. So basically what happens is, we run the code, we get the LLMs to make their predictions. It then comes up with a confidence rating and kind of what bet it wants to make and how much it wants to bet of our bankroll. And we will then make the bet on Polymarket. So that's the idea behind it. We'll see how good the LLMs are at predicting stuff. So you can basically see here, like this would be ChatGPT 5.2. It thinks Chelsea will win. It's got 40% confidence on that, and it's willing to put $2.19 of our bankroll in there. Whereas it thinks Brentford is 52% chance of winning. It's happy to bet $4 on that. So these weightings are all just hard coded at the moment. They're not actually made by the LLM. So still need to get that going. Okay. So yeah, just trying to get the stats correctly, and then pass them to the prediction engine. Okay, but I mean, the fixture and the stats should never be empty. If they are empty and something's gone wrong, we're either making incorrect API calls or passing incorrect data or something. Can we investigate why we're getting empty results for certain statistics? They should never be empty. All right. So yeah, again, this is one of the things that I found with vibe coding is like it produces a lot of code that does what you want it to do roughly, but it doesn't have all the polish and like things like the error handling. It doesn't necessarily understand the correct flow of things, nor is it often well built. I mean, this code is absolutely horrible, but there we go. Okay. Because, yeah, I mean, I think in the flow of this, I don't know whether we need to change it a bit, to be honest. Maybe this is the problem. Refresh odds, yeah. Build statistics, run all engines. That's fine. That's correct, I think. Read schedule from DB. Get markets for each fixture from DB. Yeah, that's fine. See, what we really should be doing is we could do this in the background. The only thing we can't do in the background really is injuries. Because yeah, like everything else is kind of static after stuff's happened. So we can fetch these, you know, once a day at whatever time we want. Like the standings, the head to heads, the team stats, the player stats. The only thing we need to fetch prior, like in the really tight loop, is the injuries really, just to get the most up to date stuff. Okay, so that's saying that that's fixed. Let's have a look, shall we? I think that's all we need to delete. Let me just delete everything for the moment. Delete the caches as well. Okay, let me run this then. See what we get, shall we? Okay, so it's fetch the markets. That's from Polymarket. So we should have like URLs that we can go to here and check the actual market itself. So Everton Burnley. Should have the fixtures now. Good. So that'll be this game here, Everton Burnley. We do have time. Good. So that'll be UTC, I think. So that's what, 7:30. I don't know what time it is in the UK. Scores and fixtures. Everton Burnley, 17:30. Okay, good. Okay. Markets persisted. Good, good, good. Odds refreshed. I don't get why we're getting that 3 times in a row. Oh, it's probably because that's async. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Cool. Okay, I think that's good. Okay, you can go ahead and commit those changes, please. We'll then get simplify to run on it and see whether it can tidy up the code. So yeah, how does this TikTok short work then? 11 views so far. That's interesting. Only 18 seconds watched before on average. So this was just a short that came from Restream. It was suggested in one of their little tools. It was kind of cool. So just trying that out. Okay, how is that going? Okay, so let's get simplify to have a look, shall we? See what it looks like. We'll then get it reviewed as well. And then we'll go on to the next thing, which I think will probably be the fetching of this stuff like at another time rather than just before the game. Actually, I'll just make a note of it. I don't need to do that now because that's an enhancement, I guess. So this is kind of done. Change the time we fetch the cannot type fetch the match stats, etc. Only need to fetch injuries in the prediction loop. Okay. So that's done then, I guess. So yeah, audit log thing would be nice to have. Again, that's an enhancement stuff. It's not too important really. But it would be nice to have some audit of what we're doing with the wallets and stuff, just so that we can keep track of the bets and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, then the next thing we need to do is get the LLM logic working. Dictions prompt updates plus mechanism working. So the way this is going to work is like initially, I guess I will prompt it, or whatever the mechanism we need to do. You can probably do it itself the first time, and then once the kind of the game week is done, we will then pass again all the results to the LLMs, and then the LLMs can go ahead and update its own weightings, and then we'll get that again for the next week basically. So we'll have kind of this incremental enhancement of the weightings, and I can surface that on the UI as well actually. It might be quite interesting to do. Yeah, we'll actually make a note of that because that'll be interesting to do. Surface the weightings for each model on the UI plus version. So yeah, because it'll be interesting to have the weightings on the UI, and then we can show the changes along with like the results, and then maybe ask it to give a rationale as to why it's changing its weightings and stuff. All things we can work on as enhancements and stuff. Cool. It's gone down a view. So Simplify is still working through that, which is fine. What we should do then is probably get Claude to come up with a plan for the audit log, I think, because that one week is not actually that crucial, I don't think, for now. Don't need to do competitive weight's already kind of got on audit log, really. Don't need to do that. So global planning. We want to basically keep track of any interactions with the kind of crypto market, I guess, the wallet interactions and the actual placing of bets, etc. So we have an audit log of the statuses and the changes, etc. So come up with a plan for that, please. Okay, so while that's going on, it doesn't matter if the code changes underneath it a little bit because it's not a problem. Okay. So yeah, so I wonder, like, agentic AI coding swarm seems to be what people are doing. Maybe swarm's not. Multiple AI coding agents workflows. Because yeah, I'd be interested to see what people are kind of doing with this kind of stuff. Yeah, often fail. I mean, that's kind of the impression that I'd get. So for stuff like research, it kind of makes sense to do that kind of thing, but I don't know whether it's going to work very well for coding and stuff. Happy to be proven wrong. and I can become a prompt engineer and focus more on the producty side of things. But we'll see. Yeah, every multi-agent framework I tried to solve the demo, but collapsed in production. I'm guessing he's built his own agent that does the fixes apparently, and I'm sure you need to pay for it or something. Yeah, I mean, this kind of seems to be what everyone ends up building, is these kind of like Kanban boards and workflow things. I've seen so many people talk about building them. So it's interesting. I'm not sure there's a product in there that you can sell personally. Maybe there is, but I think it's one of those things that it will just become a part of Claude Code and all those services. Basically, they will build those things, and it will just be a part of it, or open code, or whatever, basically. So, yeah, not keen on building vibe coding tools per se, and workflow tools beyond the kind of really simple stuff that we've currently got, like the kind of workflow UI thing there. But even that is just part of Claude, really. Yeah, while we're planning, I don't think there's anything else interesting on Hacker News, really. As I say, if you've got any interesting articles or anything, do drop me a link. Always interested to read them. Check them out. Yeah, nothing too interesting, really. Okay, so the reviewer is simplifying the code by the looks of it. Yeah, the error handling definitely needs improving. We need to have better visibility of that as well. Okay, so it's come up with a plan, apparently. Let's have a look, shall we? Placing cancelled. Retry. A row is inserted into bet audit log. This gives complete timeline of each bet's lifecycle, what happened, when, and why. Without modifying the existing bets, yeah. Insert only audit rows at each status. Yeah. Okay, yeah, this should be fairly straightforward for it to do, to be honest. So I'm not going to go into too much depth. One thing we do need to definitely make sure of, and make sure we've got some decent testing on, is the retry logic for making the bets. We definitely need to check that we can't, or I can't double bet, basically. I did ask it to do some stuff around it the other day, but we need to make sure, like, before we retry, we check the blockchain or whatever it is to make sure that we haven't got the bet already gone through, basically. Because otherwise it'll be a bit crap if we kind of spam the bets and then we lose all our money because the bet loses. And I mean, equally, it'll be bad if the bet wins as well, because the idea is to see how good the LLMs are at the prediction, not necessarily that we can just make money. As I say, I'm not expecting this little project to make any money. Okay, so Simplify has done its thing. Cool. Let's go ahead and get the review to give us a review, shall we? I don't think we can just do that, because it's just the code that's currently there. So once the plan's going, we can get to do the implementation. We can probably use work trees at this point if we wanted to. Again, I've not gone down that route yet. Let me know if anyone is using kind of a multi-agent, multi-session work tree flow. That seems to be the new kind of thing that people are doing. Having 5 or 6 agents working at once on the same project. Let me know what your workflow is for that. I'd be keen to understand, or if you've got any good videos or anything, articles, be keen to know. Because yeah, I'm currently just doing kind of single prompting, but I mean, I would probably burn through the session so quickly if I was doing that. So be interesting. I guess we could use Sonnet and not Opus, but we'll see. Okay, so the reviewer is working through its thing. So yeah, welcome to the stream, guys. Please do subscribe and join the Discord if you're new. Currently building an LLM kind of prediction engine so we can pit LLMs against each other and see which one can make the most money, basically, or lose the least on football betting. We've got a dashboard. It's only local at the moment, but we will be deploying this to the internet and publicly so you can all view it and see what bets are being made, how much they're making it for, which one's winning, all that kind of stuff. We're getting fairly close to being able to deploy it and actually start to make some predictions. I don't know when the next game is today. Okay, so probably won't get there. Oh, maybe. I mean, what time is it here? So here it's 7:30, but in the UK it's what? 10 o'clock, 10:30 in the UK. So maybe we can get there. It would be good if we could. Implementation on Twitter phase, splits, blah, blah, blah. Standings cache never expires. Its pipeline is created once at startup and reused by the scheduler. Standings fetched hours ago. We reuse across runs. Yeah, okay. So that's one thing we need to actually fix, I guess, is the way that that is looping and stuff. Okay, before we move on to that plan, can we take a look at the scheduling logic and how the actual flows run? So one thing we need to do is make sure that we're updating the fixtures and the matches every day, for example. And equally, we need to make sure that we're fetching the. Hold on, I'm not talking about. What do we actually need to do? What we need to do is make sure that at least once a day, we basically fetch the latest fixtures, and then we mark fixtures as complete, I guess. Okay, so we've got status of those. So we need to make sure that they go through that flow, basically, yeah. Before we move on to this, can we just make sure that the flow of fixtures is correct? Can we make sure that we are fetching them at like a daily basis or weekly basis, and that we are transitioning them after they have been complete, and how often we are doing those actions, etc. It's not entirely clear to me how often we're running those or the mechanism after how we're doing that. So can you please have a look at that? That was not a very well explained prompt at all. Hopefully Claude can work out what I was talking about. So how's the short performing that Restream came up with? 12 views. That's pretty good. I don't know how often shorts, get views and stuff. Like stayed to watch 58%, swiped away 41%. Interesting. So yeah, this was just a restream which I was using earlier for the streaming before it cut out. It splits up your stream into quote unquote viral short clips. I thought we'd just post one and see what it does. I'm probably going to build a tool that does that in a hopefully much better way. I mean, the tool is pretty slick, but it's come up with some crap. So we'll see. So yeah, one of the tools I do want to build, and we have started building on stream, is the content generation pipeline that can help me come up with some content ideas, come up with some scripting and that kind of stuff, based on kind of current events, news around AI, tech, and all that kind of stuff. The idea being trying to drive some traffic towards the stream and stuff to try and grow, as I don't think the growth through just the streaming will be that good. Definitely need to make more long form and short form content. Okay, so the reviewer, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, so I'm just going to wait to see what the plan is for this one before I get this one to do its thing. Because yeah, the standards cache never expires since the pipeline is created once a startup and reused by the scheduler. Standings fetched hours ago would be reused across runs. The simple fix, standing cache clear. Yeah. So that standings are not kept in the database, but it's probably fine that it's not that often. But I guess if we don't deploy it for a couple of weeks, then it won't kick off and it'll be stale. Ooh, I don't know what happened there. Oh, just compacting or something. For example, this was a point raised by a review. Frequency vector every 30 minutes. Discovery pipeline calls fixtures with a 7-day look ahead window. Yeah. Okay, so it just mirrors that. That's fine. I mean, every 30 minutes is a bit ridiculous, really. So every 6 hours. Okay. Order confirmation. That needs to run way quicker, I guess. Okay. I mean, interesting, but there's definitely stuff we need to fix in there. Hold on, right. Okay, yeah, so I think what we need to do is fetch fixtures probably once a week. And then when a game is in play, we can set a time to go and fetch it. For the prediction engine as well, we should only kick off a prediction from 30 minutes before a fixture kicks off, as we need to go fetch the injuries that only appear 30 minutes before. And the team that is going to be playing, that only appears 30 minutes before. Again, that is terribly explained. Do not implement. Has it written that as It's not written that one as a plan, but I think we do need to do that. Yeah, I think it's probably the most important thing that we can do at the moment. The audit log plan, I think I can just commit that, and we can do that later on. Audit log plan. Because yeah, getting the logic for how it all runs correct is probably the most important thing at the moment. Yeah, it's like it's pointless running every 30 minutes making an API call when there's no games going on. Like if a game is in progress, we can then fetch it every few seconds or every minute or whatever. That's fine. Every 10 minutes or whatever. But doing it per 30 minutes while nothing's going on seems a bit pointless. So we'll see what it can come up with. My microphone looks like it's about to die any minute. It's flashing red. So if I go quiet, let me know and I'll try and fix that. Yeah, maybe we'll come up with a plan here. And then maybe we'll implement it later on. Yeah, okay. So yeah, before Restream broke, we seem to be getting some good views, I think, on the first main stream actually. 72 views actually pretty good so far. Seems to be getting some more traction on the live streams. As always, do subscribe to the channel, get involved in the chat and join the Discord, and we can talk about things in there, come up with some ideas and have a chat. Okay, Claude is coming up with the plan. 104 subscribers today, awesome. 12 views. So yeah, it's interesting to see some of the statistics for shorts content. As I say, this is the first one I've ever made. Interesting. Okay, so the review stuff for that, yeah, we do need to think about that as well. Like standings cache can probably like in theory, most of this stuff we can know based on the fixture stuff. So like if a fixture transitions from playing to finished or whatever it is, we can update the standings and stuff. So maybe we can have the audit log of that as well, perhaps, and then that's the way that we can determine when we need to update standings. I'm trying to think of what the best approach to this is, really, how I would design it if I was building it myself. Like it's a state machine, so like I guess in theory when the state transitions to finished we can update the stats, but then you kind of are making redundant calls if there's still games in play, so we'll have a think. Maybe we can get Claude to come up with a decent plan for once. Come on, Claude, come up with a plan. Yeah, we're definitely making some progress with the application. Got a cool looking dashboard, if I don't say so myself. We've got the ability to view the bets. We've got the ability to make bets as well in theory. Do the prediction stuff. Need to wire up the LLMs and get them to make their prediction logic. Then we need to deploy it all. I need to fund the wallets, and then we can see what's going on. So I'm trying to think when the next games are. Like today, I don't think we'll make it. So tomorrow, I guess the goal can be that tomorrow we have bets for those games. I think that would be a really cool point to get to. If we can have that tomorrow and see where we are. Start to get some results, and maybe we can get rich off this. I'm highly doubting it. It's probably just going to lose me money, to be honest, but there we go. It'll be interesting to see what other markets as well are on Polymarket that we could potentially build or use the LLM to make predictions on. So there's political things, obviously there's crypto stuff. I guess this is what is this, the esports, is it? I don't know if this is esports. Yeah, esports stuff. So that's interesting. Yeah, also potentially going to build the kind of insider trading monitoring tool as well. Might be an interesting one to build on stream. But probably go with the content creation pipeline first. Right, okay. System currently runs the full discovery pipeline for 30 minutes and predicts 6 hours for all scheduled fixtures. Regardless of time, it's wasteful. Fixtures and money markets don't change that frequently, but fixture statuses in play do need terminal updates. Meanwhile, injuries and confirmed lineups only appear 30 minutes before kickoffs and running. Predictions hours early to West API calls. Restructures. Okay, so approach. Split the current monolithic discovery every 30 minutes in 3 independent cadences. Weekly discovery. Fetch fixtures and Polymarkets once per week. Premier League fixtures are known well in advance. Yeah, Polymarket creates days ahead. That's fine. Fixture status pipeline. This is a new. A lightweight pipeline that runs every 50 minutes and only queries API football for fixtures that need a status update. Scheduled fixtures whose kickoff has passed and are in progress. Fixtures waiting to be marked finish. Each check is a single API call per fixture. Yeah, okay. Prediction lead time. The prediction pipeline runs frequently every 50 minutes, but only processes fixtures within 30 minutes of kickoff. This ensures injuries and lineups are available when the engine runs. Yeah. Fixtures further out will be ignored until the end of the 30-minute window. Yeah, perfect. Why weekly discovery is safe. Fixture status pipeline replaces an additional side effect. Yeah, that's fine. Prediction lead time. Yeah, that makes sense. Could miss midweek feature additions. Unlikely. 15-minute prediction interval means slight imprecision. Fixture at 8 p.m. could be predicted anywhere between 7:30 and 7:15, depending on when the interval. Yeah, that's fine. Adding a third pipeline adds complexity scheduler. However, yeah, each pipeline is single clear. Yeah. In progress features checks consume API calls. I'm fine with that. Cost 1 API call per 15-minute window. I mean, that's not too bad. I'll get like 7,000 credits a day or something, don't I? So, okay, I think that plan makes total sense to me. One thing I was thinking about was, could we have on the fixture, maybe we can store the results and the current status and the scores and stuff. Okay, yeah, that looks good. Just thinking for the fixtures, can we store the in-play data, so the scores, etc., and then also have the actually, do I want that? It's probably overcomplicated for now, isn't it? Okay, yeah, we'll leave that for now. Okay, let's go ahead and move to the global implementation phase, please. Wow. And that should then basically call this. Yeah, awesome. Making progress. So yeah, welcome to the stream, guys. Good to have you here. Do subscribe. Do join Discord if you're new. We hit 100 subscribers today, which is awesome. 104 currently. The goal is to get to 1,000 now. When I get to 1,000, I can become monetized and start to get some revenue. Because currently I'm down like £200 building all this stuff. So got to get some revenue somehow. I'm currently not building any products that are going to make me money. So probably need to get off my arse there and start building those on stream as well. Yeah, so far vibe coding is very interesting. I wouldn't say it's necessarily quicker than doing it myself. I certainly have way less context of what's going on, way less understanding of the products and the code base, basically zero understanding because I'm not reading any of it. But it has done some really good things, some really interesting things. So still trying to work out what a good workflow is and how best to utilize these tools. Where's my live stream? Here it is. Cool. Yeah, it looks like we get a lot of people that come to the stream and then just leave straight away. So probably need to work out how we can get people to stick around better as well. Cool. Claude is going ahead and making the changes. So yeah, I think once Claude's done this one, I think I'll go ahead and wrap up the stream for today. As I say, my microphone is about to run out of battery. It's flashing red at me. So probably come back tomorrow for another live stream. And again, as I say, the goal tomorrow will be to actually have this live and making bets for the games on that day. I think at it's 7:30 UK time those matches are on Wednesday. For me, that's like 6, 7 a.m. here, I think, something like that. So I'll probably just set it to run and then hope that it all works if we get that far. Maybe I'll wake up and we'll have burnt all the money from a bug, or maybe we'll have placed the bets and see who's currently ahead. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, goal for tomorrow and the next stream will be to get this deployed, have the wallets there with the funding. I'll have to go and do that myself. I'll do that off stream, of course. And then have it make some predictions. Still need to do the mechanism for getting it to talk to the LLMs. We've got OpenRouter wired up, but we still need to do the mechanism for the initial call to get it to build the weights with the prompt, and then the prompt to update its weights based on the results. But we can get that to Planet tomorrow and get those built fairly straightforward, I think. I think there actually is already a mechanism for the initial thing. I think competitor add does actually do search a new weighted competitor in the database. Oh yeah, so we do iterator, and that adds the initial weights for the LLM. So it passes the prompt to it and calls it, and calls OpenAI, I believe. But we need to come up with a better mechanism for that, because that's just a local one that I can kick off when I add a model. So yeah, and then we need to work out how we're going to do the kind of self-incrementing stuff based on the results. I don't know whether we get match week or game week or something in the statistics, or statistics, but the data, Because if we get that, then I guess once we transition to the next one, we can get it to update its own weights. Yeah, if there's any features you guys like to see on the dashboard, in Discord, anything like that, do let me know, and I can try and add them. So yeah, how are we looking in usage today? Current session should be all right. Actually, should be okay for the current week as well, actually. Looks of it. Potentially. Actually, no, because it's Tuesday today, isn't it? Yeah, so I've got... Okay, I'm going to have to upgrade, I should imagine, to the Super 20X package on Claude. I'll be down even more money then. That's fine. Got to spend money to make money, right? But yeah, so the product I'm going to build for the the content generation, I think that's a product that can legit be useful for people, certainly be useful for me, and that's why I'm building it. I'm going to turn it into a SaaS product as well that can hopefully generate some revenue. Yeah, it looks like my microphone is about to die. So yeah, so because my microphone is about to die, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the stream for today. I might continue a little bit off stream, just wrapping up these couple of little features and then trying to get the wallets and everything wired up so that we can actually play around and see some full-on results and actual bets and stuff. There's going to be a few things I need to probably do, like proxies and stuff, because I don't. Okay, yeah, so my microphone has died, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the stream, guys. Thank you for watching, as always. Please do subscribe, join the Discord, and you'll know of any future streams. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow.